guys, my name is Jeff, a wizard. Welcome to my channel. This is one of the weirdest readings and messiest ones I've done so far, so please bear with me. We're gonna do some different things. There's a cool light effect again. Instead of doing a pick a card, we're gonna pick a book, because I pulled my dragon cards. Long story, they called to me, I was gonna do one, we had a huge fight, then a lot of them came out, they were on the table, I procrastinated for weeks, but then I decided, I also was telling myself, read a book for months, like go to the library, donde está la biblioteca. I was doing it like non-stop in my head, so I finally decided to maybe listen to it. So I gathered the books that spoke to me and matched them with the cards, and I'm gonna read a little bit from the book, just flip it over on a page, and then see if it matches with the card, and then try to do stuff with that. It's a mess, bear with me. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, no, like I'm happy I got through this. Anyways, this is the world matter. I'm random. These are the books to choose from, 1 through 6. Pay attention because group 5 is 2 books. So choose the book that speaks to you, and then go to the timestamps in the description box and in the comment section, and then go to click on the link, and then I will meet you. In one shape or another, I go through a lot of changes to the readings. So readings 1 and 2 are like, I'm a different person there than the other readings. And group 6 is weird, but have fun with it, enjoy. And I hope to see you around for other weird stuff. Bye. Bienvenido, group 1. Hello. So, the book that we chose here is The Southern Bee Culture by J.J. Wilder. I bought this book online because bees, very important to me. This book stood out to me, I don't know why, but I still love it, like the purple here. And J.J. is always a trigger for me, you know, like it's that person that I once dated that I think is the one for me. But it's also that person that never spoke to me again after the first date and completely disregards me and doesn't seem to like care for me one bit. That person. Yeah. But also JJ has other meanings for me. Like it's a reader that I used to listen to, and something else. I don't know. Too personal. The cards that match the book is, look, this is this lilac fire dragon, okay? So, and I matched this book because because I thought these were like kind of these little bees, and the purple matched, and also because I had a long discussion in my head about because like if you saw the first picture with the cards, like these 2 cards were lying beside it, and first I thought this was a separate group, but then the number 6 became very important, so 6 groups, and only use the fire. You only use the fire? Whoa! Okay, only use the dragon cards. So these were to clarify this dragon card, and I was doubtful first, but then why did I choose this? Oh yeah. Because these match, like see the flowers here and the flowers here, and it's like these burning, and she's holding this candle and the same direction, and my statue just fell over. So okay, now I kind of know where this is going. Yeah, okay, and then this tower card, but it's a very specific tower card here. Focus on the mind here and the maze. Okay, good. Now this book, I've been reading it a little bit, and actually it kind of is, it started like inspiring me, and it was a pretty special book because actually this man is sort of starts talking about how he tried to keep these colonies of bees, you know, and how he failed a lot, and he saw all these colonies die, and he lost so many bees, and he failed over and over again, and he spent his life really perfecting this art of keeping bees and to keep bees alive, and how to maintain these colonies so that they don't die out, because I don't know. But it became very spiritual, because then it's like this is everything I learned from failing over and over again. This is everything I learned from a lifetime of, and it moved me, because he really spoke about these bees with a great care. He really was affected when a colony would die, or he would see that they would not make it, that they would dwindle. So he the special magic that he was doing about how do you how do you control this thing? Because Mother Nature seems to have this magic formula, and then when we try to do it, we seem to fail, and or it's quite difficult to maintain this sort of balance, or to get it right. It's really an art form, and that's what this group is about. It's about art. Look, this is our Queen of Wands. It's about confidence. That's our actress of the tarot. Okay, so this is group 1. You are creative in one way or another, and I think, so group 1, we have been trying here, or you have been trying here to do your passion, to do your art, to do what you like to do, and you've been really working hard on that in one way or another, but also you have had to start over again a lot, okay? And this is this Tower card. This is every time seeing this song comes to mind from this show about musical singers or something. They Keep Moving the Line. I'll put a link up. It's a really cool song. They just keep moving the line. And I feel but in the same emotional way as this book sort of describes it, you have been putting so much love and so much care and so much of your time and energy into doing what you love, and really the bee, and just my eye falls on this little thing, so cool. This is yellow ball. The bee analogy is really important here, because bees are symbolic for the hard work, but also the honey, and honey is symbolic for the sweetness of life, the nice things in life, and the beautiful things in life, the arts. That's the honey. That's the joy of life. I don't know where I got this from. I think from Stephen Fry, somewhere, this anecdote about this old knight or king or something, and he put so much money and so much time into making this incredible harness, really embroidered or fully decorated, and all these little details, so much time to just look cool and special and shiny, whatever, make an impression. And then they asked him, what's the point? Why put so much energy into something that really doesn't give you much? And then the answer was something just for the niceness of it, just because it's that's the point of life, We're not here to survive. We're here to actually make honey. We're here to make honey. We're here to make beautiful things. We're here to shine, to be noticed, to try out things. We're here to try out things and really make something of it. I feel like you have been really doing that, and the point is that you also have had to do that sort of by yourself, and start again without maybe a lot of results, or maybe with failing a lot, or having to pick yourself up a lot again in this way, and giving yourself confidence again to start, you know, like to just keep trying at something. Yeah, definitely, I'm so spot on. Okay, let's see what the book can tell us. I'm just gonna flippity flip through. It wants to show me this picture to you, but now I can't find it. Huh? What? Ghost picture? Where is it? Oh, yeah. J.J. Wilder. Do you see the monsieur? With the little moustache? Oh, he's like, it's cute. Like, I'd swipe left or right. Okay. Now I'm just starting to read the book again. 1908, that was the number I said. Okay, I'm just gonna. Oh. 1908. So page 89. That's what I got. Okay, really? 89. But it's flipping in my head. It's like saying 98. Yeah, and that's what I just flipped over. And that's what I said. Like I said 9 because I have this like this dyslexic thing, you know, where I switch the numbers like visually. So I see 1908, and then in my head it's like 89. So that's where we are. Welcome to my wizard ways. I attached this to my reading thingy. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it here. So I have this little paragraph here on page 98. I'm just gonna read this little part. Okay. Because water is the first thing that I noticed. Water. And then this blue was lying under here. And before I read, I just want to stress like this card, like look at these flowers burning. You know, that's passion, and it says transmutes through the power of divine love. Purity of heart brings peace, hope, and joy. And it's really, it's beautiful, so beautiful for me, because it's really you doing that thing that just your passion, like you know, even if everybody told you it was shit and it always failed, you can't help yourself but doing it. And also in you making these beautiful things, and even if nobody sees them, guys, like even if you make art and drawings or little poems or little doodles and you throw them away, or you make music and nobody ever hears it, it's heard, okay? You heard it, and it really, like, you don't realize how much that matters. You think it doesn't matter at all when you're all alone and you make something and nobody sees it, but it does, because it's like it's all dark and you're the light, you know, and you have to realize that it does matter, and in a bigger sense, like in a sort of spiritual way or in a transcendental way, even maybe, you do it for yourself, and trust me, at the end of your life, that's what it's all about. You are going to look at what you did, and those moments when you're making, when you're creating, when you're trying, because we think that when let's say you're trying to make a song, or you're trying to write a poem and you're blah blah blah, or do anything, or you make a sketch and it sucks and you throw it away because you think it's bad or not good enough yet, or it was off key or whatever, we think that that's a fail, right? We think that at that moment we're not creating anything, but we couldn't be farther from the truth there. Like, that is in the moments we're making mistakes, and when we are fucking up, and when we are trying to make something, that's us. That's what we are. And it's so hard to it's this thing of, you know, everybody sees a perfect circle in their head, but nobody can draw one. but in you trying to draw one and learning to do this, it's like you're reaching for this light or this divinity, and it doesn't matter, because you know you're never going to reach it. You're never going to draw the perfect circle, because it's kind of impossible. Like, but you still see it, and it's not about actually doing it. It's about reaching for that beauty somehow. Okay, sorry, got deep there. Reading the book now. Southern bee culture. By this time, the water is warm in the cans and the comb can be put in. And during this time, the slum gum can, sorry, dirty joke in my head, can be removed from the sack and, okay, this is good. Focus, Jeffy, focus. The slum gum can be removed from the sack and it is placed back in the gum and preparations made for another pressing. I've made several 100 pounds of wax in one season with this device, but if only a small amount of comb is to be rendered, a much smaller device of the same kind can be constructed. Care should be exercised in melting comb around stoves, for when hot, it will burn like oil. It should be melted in pots and cans over a slow fire. Ah! Okay, I know exactly what this is about. Yeah. Like, okay, look. You need to... Oh yeah, I just saw this today. Okay, it's perfect. Especially the last part. It should be melted in pots and cans over a slow fire. Okay? Guys, when you need to do the slow burn, you need to learn to pace yourselves, to rest, and you're not reaching you're not reaching an end point here, okay? It's never enough. You're always going to want more, better, and that never stops. And you're going to realize that, like, there was this little video of Teal Swan I saw on Instagram, and she was saying, like, you're never going to reach it. And you realize this 100, 200, 300 times, and maybe finally you realize that there's never an end point. It's never enough. You're never there. You're never going to be satisfied. You're never going to reach the finish line. There is no finish line, okay? Even when you think like, oh no, but when I reach certain success, when I reach a certain amount of money, when I reach a certain, like when I finish this project, this book, whatever, then I'll be done. Then I've reached something. Then something will change, and it doesn't. And this is something that I think, as an artist, or as anybody doing anything, building anybody, you need to realize this, that don't fool yourself, because that's where the heartbreak, I feel, for me, always lies a bit until you get over it, is you think that, that's why I'm touching my, like, music maker here. Like when I do this, when I show this thing that I've made, or when I finally reach this thing, or when I finally show or reach a certain level of something and I can show this to people, or if I can just do that, then it will be different. So maybe you work nights and nights and nights to finish something, and and you give birth to it. And for you, it's such a heavy moment, like when you give birth to something, any idea, any thing that you were doing, even if it's just your job, but anything like that you've been really striving for, you will see that you reach that moment, you'll finish it, and you'll wake up the next day and just realize that nothing's changed. Life goes on, okay? And it's when you release that and just say like, okay, it's this mental state of like, maybe I'll never. Maybe my work will never be seen. Maybe I'll never be noticed. Maybe I'll never reach that state. Or maybe I'll never, it'll never work, or I'll never do something, when you can take peace with that. Really, because you go over this a couple of times, like really. This is like a process where you like realize this 100 times over, And it's with everything in life where we think that we realize that like, oh, like this doesn't change anything. Like let's say beauty, just beauty. It's like, when you think, when this or this is different about me, or when I reach these or these goals, then it'll be different. And then we reach that place and we realize that like, oh, it's not. And then we learn these life lessons that like doesn't matter and doesn't change anything. And then we accept that, and then somehow we fall into the same trap again, like the other side. It's like we're little mice, and we're like, no, that there, and then like into the other trap, like, and back and forth. A couple of times until you just stop and say like, what am I doing here? It's a lot of like running in circles. But then you also realize that, because it's not when you realize that you're running in circles that you're gonna stop. When you realize, the video just skipped, that was so weird. When you realize that you've been running in circles and that doesn't amount to anything, you think like, oh, you'll stop, right? And you'll sort of do something else. No, you'll realize that you've been doing what you wanted to do all along, and you are doing it, and you're doing what you wouldn't stop doing this even if, it's like when you wake up and you see that you're in a big game, let's say a video game, and you're like, oh my god, I'm in a game. Like, who says you're gonna stop playing the video game? You came here to play the game, so maybe you realize like, actually I like playing this game, let's play more of this game. That's why we're here, It's not that awareness of suddenly. It's the same with sex. It's like, you say like you're having a lot of sex, and like you could think about it as like, what's the point of sex? Why do we have it? Is it necessary? Why do I care so much? It shouldn't matter so much, right? Right after you have had sex, right after you orgasm, you probably think about it as like, it's not that important, and I shouldn't determine my decisions, and it's not a rational thing, and it shouldn't really determine anything, blah, blah, blah. You could really rationalize it as a sort of not important thing, or not, like, sex should not matter in this way, or it shouldn't be a deciding factor. But then the next day when you're super horny again, you think about this completely differently. Do you like, this is the essence of life, this is who I am at the core, this is what I want to do, like, we're all animals, and it's the only reason we're here, and you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't stop having sex because you realize that it's futile, right? That's my point. But slow down, pace yourself, just drop the pressure. You're gonna keep having ideas, you're gonna keep working on them. Like this, I used to do this when I sort of like started finishing like songs or whatever, or these videos. Then in the final editing process, it takes a while, like, because you think you have a final version, and then, oh, this is a little detail here, this little detail there, and then suddenly you're like up 3 nights in a row just finishing this, and it's kind of like a kick. It gives a really like sort of adrenaline boost or something. But now I've really learned to, stop doing those all-nighters then, and doing this race. It's like I almost had this pressure of, it's like I had an exam, and I had to stay up all night cramming. And then there's this point of release, and like, oh, the exam, and then it's over. But it's like in your own little world. It's nobody else has this, and then there's no rush, like in my head, it felt like so important that I just finished this right now. It felt like super important, and it was, it was something for myself that like I needed to resolve. It needed to, but it doesn't change if I finish it this week, next week, or in 2 weeks. Like there's no. Spirit never wants you to lose sleep or meals or your health or even like push other people away or lose love or like sacrifice anything to actually finish it. It's just if you're working on it and if you're doing it, then then you're good. Yeah, sometimes there'll be times when Spirit calls you out and says like it has to happen today and just finish it already. But then it never means then, this is important, guys. This is important. If you've been getting signs that you need to do it now, you need to finish this and it's so important, then it doesn't mean you have a lot of work to do. Then usually that means it's ready. What are you waiting for? Why are you holding back? It usually means you're overcomplicating things. Just release it already. Give birth. It never means you need to like now fix it and work super hard to like get it resolved. No, it usually means like it's there, dude. Like go. That was group 1. Wow, that was long. Damn it. Okay, this will not be short messages. Now I know. Thank you, group 1. I hope this helped in any way. This is a cool book to buy. So it's a nice book to have. It's like a good book to flip through. Nice pictures. I would recommend. I don't know why I want to show you this. These 4 squares. So pause the video if you want. I don't know. I'm not going to do it. Thank you, group 1. Like, share, subscribe. And I will see you next time in one of my random videos. Bye. Hello, group 2. Hello, how are you? So you chose the book, The Mushroom at the End of the World. I like this book because I like mushrooms, the magic kind. Not really the normal kind. I like the taste, but the texture, I don't like it. I just really like the cover. Mushrooms are like symbolically important for me or something. But this is actually a really complicated book about sort of like economics and capitalism, philosophy shit. I don't know, like written by Anna Lowenhaupt Tsing. Where is she from? Oh, California. Oh no, and wait, she was a professor of anthropology, University of California, Santa Cruz, and a Niels Bohr professor at Aarhus University in Denmark. Damn it, Denmark keeps popping up. Stupid Denmark. Oh, by the way, this necklace I'm wearing, I bought in Denmark, this little sun. When the first time I visited, I bought it there. Yeah, so, coincidence. That's cool. Okay, but it's a very dense book about I think this is the best, maybe, synopsis. Tsing's highly original ethnographic study follows this spicy-smelling mushroom's global commodity chain. Consistently fascinating. Still don't really know what it's about, I guess. I'm not gonna read it. Seems complicated. On the possibility of life in capitalist ruins. Now, also why I like this book is because before that I read The Secret Life of Trees or something. I switched something up in the title, but which is all about how trees communicate with each other in many, many ways, much more than we were aware of. And it was a super interesting book because it gave me a lot of insights, because really trees communicate just as complex as humans do, and it showed how important it is and vital for trees to live in a forest, because they really support each other. These foresters would go down, they would chop down trees or like cut them, like put a dent in them so they wouldn't get water or something, so they would die out, like, you know, if they were sick. And then years later, they would find that these trees were still alive because they were being kept alive by the trees around that. And these trees communicate through the moss and through the pollen, and with the also like in slow ways, you know. It's actually the same communication in Witte, but just a lot slower, and but also in many different ways. And that's the cool thing about it, like it's so dimensional. And one example that's simple from the book was that there's these trees in Africa where giraffes eat, and when they're eating these trees, the tree starts changing something, so the leaves become poisonous to protect itself. And the interesting thing is that it's not just that tree, but the trees around it do it as well, so they get the same signal, and the giraffes know that, so they like nibble on this tree, and after a certain amount of time, they know that the trees become the leaves become bitter or poisonous, and then they move along to the next tree, but they skip like the next 10 trees because they know they've gotten, like, they have the same now, or if it's downwind or something. Really cool. But this is about mushrooms. Now, I'm a bit intrigued by this reading because first I got this card. Together with the message I needed to go more to nature. I ignored that kind of. Should have just gone for a walk, but so much resistance. I did sat in my garden a lot. I did a lot of my plants here. I went to the sea. That's kind of nature, but not the forest. I don't know why I have so much resistance to it, to just take a walk. Because it always makes me feel better. Always. Once, 2 steps in a forest, and it seems ridiculous that I don't do it every day for hours. But then, yet, I have the same with showering sometimes. Like if I can not do it. Like I want to do it, but then I keep postponing it really long, and it's like this resistance. But then when you're in the shower, it's like the best thing ever, and I never want to leave the shower again. I should shower after this. But then like this High Priestess card fell out, and I kid you not, like on this card sort of, and they both have this key. Oh, can you see that? Here's the key here. Okay, they're both holding this key, and she's reading in the book, so that was another sign for me to like read the book. So here we are reading books, kind of. The purple flowers. They both have purple flowers. Very interesting. She's looking at the book, and the dragon is looking at you. The dragon is looking at you, and it's holding the key. Interesting. So this is talking about instinct. And since this purple flower is here, I'm assuming it's kind of the same, you know, because like walking into the forest, yes, the trees talk to us and give us, of course, information. And I also like kind of believe in those sort of, you get downloads. Like I always felt, or I always kind of believed that when you're walking through a forest, or like when you're driving in the car and you see the sun flickering through the trees on your face, it's like, I always feel like that's sort of kind of deep Morse code you're getting, you know? That's like always a message. I always have it when I look into the sun, like somehow it's like updating my software or something. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna flip open this book and see what comes up. Told me to look at the cards for a number, maybe, but like I only see 2. Page 2. That would be very interesting. Copyright, Princeton, 2015, Princeton University. There's no page numbering? Or... oh, wait. Oh, that's... funny because it's using the Roman numerals here. So then it is this page 2. Princeton University, 5th print, all rights reserved. I don't know. Give me a second here. Prologue to. Okay, so I'm just gonna read what's on page 2 here. I'm gonna then flip again through the book but I think this might apply to somebody. No longer a source of growth or optimism, but it was the end of the previous sentence. Then any of our jobs could disappear with the next economic crisis. And it's not just that I might fear a spurt of new disasters. I find myself without the handrails of stories that tell where everyone is going and also why. Precarity once seemed the fate of the less fortunate. Now it seems that all our lives are precarious, even when for the moment our pockets are lined. In contrast to the mid-20th century, when poets and philosophers of the global north felt caged by too much stability, and that is true, it's like sort of an elitist thing almost, to have the time to think, and be poetic. Now many of us north and south confront the conditions of trouble without end. So I don't know if the group 2, maybe you've lost your job, or you are experiencing stress in this kind of way, or you don't have the safety anymore, or you really feel like at this time it's very unstable. Maybe you're just like at the living paycheck to paycheck with and I think, I don't know, like I think most young people would agree that, I don't know, like there's nothing that gives you any kind of stability or really security like it used to. Like no real degree, in a sense, gives you the same promise as it used to. Even like jobs like my studies, like medical school. I think I even have the most privilege of all, in the sense that there'll always be need for doctors in any way, shape, or form. So, like my job conditions or applying for jobs in my sector is probably the easiest than compared to other sectors, because it's very specific, and like it's there's a shortage of it, but that doesn't mean that and I've sort of felt this, that especially in, I don't know, like in the psychiatric sector maybe, but I think in other medical places, I don't know, like I'm just going too deep into this, but like with the privatization, because not a lot of countries can really sustain a socialist model where the government pays for all of our medical expenses, and it's accessible for everybody. That's not sustainable, so a lot of these things become privatized. Or they become so I've been working in these organizations as a doctor, but in the end of the day, there's you have the medical side, and then I get hired to treat patients, do my job, but then there's this management side, and it's all about numbers. And then when there's an economical cut, like when there are cuts, they just shrink the place. I've worked in clinics, and I've seen them take away everything, like the furniture, the sport balls, the therapeutes, really, it was basically a room with chairs. That was the detox clinic, and these patients were all telling me, I'm bored, and I was like, yeah, I get it. This place is shit, you know, like it's really scary how then even these clinics are still running and treating patients when they don't even have the equipment and the capacity. They're like running on fumes, on empty, right? And or like, and what's always I thought was really sad about the situation is then at that time it doesn't matter how well you are at treating patients. They couldn't care less. It is they take big decisions that has to go. We're closing down these clinics. We're compiling everything there. We're shifting everything there, and they're looking at numbers. And then I worked in another clinic here for a short while, luckily. This was one of the clinics that was actually making money in times of where a lot of places were being in a very tight spot. And I noticed why, because they were really running like a factory, like no joke, like there was no real room for negotiation, which was terrible because, you know, I would admit patients like, okay, you're in here for alcoholism, 2 weeks of detox, like this is the schedule, this is the standard medication. I didn't even have to think about these things anymore. Like I didn't have to decide, but I also couldn't say, hey, I think this patient should be here longer because there's maybe a major depression here and it's no use that we send them out that fast. There was no real option for that. It was just like, yeah, but this is the detox clinic. We just detox them 2 weeks and then we send them away. Clear. No negotiation. They didn't even care that, and they were super unempathic to the patients when they came there. Even I would admit patients that smoked weed and they wanted to quit, like young people, 19 years old, 20 years old, you know, like young people with bad pasts and a lot of anger and they just want to do better, and then they like try to stop the weed, and then they're not on time for breakfast a couple of mornings, and then the nurses are telling me that this behavior cannot go on. We're going to give them their final warning. The doctor has to tell them that this is not acceptable. They have to listen to us. And we say mind-boggling how they can't see that somebody who's just quit weed is going to oversleep. You know, not okay. Anyways, losing jobs, difficult economical times. And then I got here. See this picture? Don't know what it means. Conjuring time. Mr. Emoto's map of revitalizing. This is the Matsutake Mountain, a time machine of multiple seasons, histories, and hopes. Art of noticing. I'm not proposing a return to the Stone Age. My intent is not reactionary, nor even conservative, but simply subversive. It seems that the utopian imagination is trapped, like capitalism and industrialism and the human population, in a one-way future consisting only of growth. All I'm trying to do is figure out how to put a pig on the tracks. And that's a quote by Ursula K. Le Guin. The mountain, the Matsutake Mountain, a time machine of multiple seasons, histories, and hopes. Okay, what I'm kind of getting is that the world today is just I think a lot of us are still trying to, and this comes from it's still previous generation because it's happened, it's changing so fast, is a lot of us are still trying to apply old paradigms or rules or ways of living to this new modern world, and it doesn't make sense because the tapestry, the world, has become so much more complex and deeper and layered, and it's changing, you know, and it's crazy to go about things the way you used to would go about things, you know. If you're applying for a job, let's say, it's maybe some of us are still maybe not adapting to the new world and the new ways of presenting ourselves, of how to grab for opportunities, or becoming more flexible and creative in what routes to take. Because really, like today, how to make a career, how to find a good position in the world is, you know, like maybe 100, like until 50 years ago, you would choose a study and that would be your profession and that would be the direction you would go in. There wouldn't be a lot of sidetracking from that. It would be very clear, and also, you know, like you wouldn't have to really become super flexible in how to get there. But right now, it's really like, you know, the first idea you had, or forget it. Like, try something else and try something else again, and discover the world and see who you are and discover yourself. Because this world really asks of us to be now, you know, the world now. Because this is the map right now, you know, where it used to be with maybe just a mountain and some trees. Right now it's like all this history, all these layers, all these extra rules, dimensions. And we kind of have to get ahead of the current, right? And that's why for me, for instance, why I'm very hesitant to work again in one of these addiction clinics, because doing this job, I just noticed that we're not getting ahead of the current. We're still trying to work with the old map, and while we know it's not working, even in Holland, they know that the formula of an addiction clinic, for instance, doesn't work. You know, you take away the addiction, a bunch of problems come up. You need to treat those. An addiction is a reaction, you know, so it doesn't make sense to have a detox clinic. And I can't even tell you the horror stories that happened in several countries where they really try to make this money formula, you know, like, oh, we take the patients in and we treat them, and it's not really with bad intent. It's more, it has to do with the way the government subsidizes the money. So they say you need addiction clinics lose money when they keep patients too long, okay? Or the government doesn't give you more money for a second treatment or a third treatment maybe. So these organizations have to work around that and with that to make ends meet. So it becomes really this very, you know, it gets so lost. It's far from what it's supposed to be. And when then you come into the scene and you want to make a difference or you want to work, and I like the first jobs I had because they allowed me to work, be flexible with the system. You know, I could say, like, this is the basic program, but this is not how we're going to do it. We're going to do it differently. And I know this patient shouldn't be here this long, but sending them home is dangerous and doesn't solve their problems. So we're not going to do that yet. You know, we're going to find a solution yet. And then people would try to work with me on that. And yes, it was a negotiation, but at least you had the flexibility. And it's scary in some places, you just don't. And then you see terrible things happen there. I swear to God, in this clinic, when I was working there was a patient that grabbed 2 pens and jabbed them in his eyes. It's like, for that to happen, I don't know, like how it even got that far and under the supervision. Because they were standing in the room, like the doctor was standing in the room or something. It just said a lot about the place. And a lot about the world we're living in. So it's really calling on you to tap in to, okay, it's like this. It's like you are, you have to try to get ahead of the game here, and you have to find your way in this overcomplicated map. Okay, that's why this is saying, like, arts of noticing. A return to the Stone Age. Okay, And two things. First of all, it's saying, how you're going to get through this, how you're going to maneuver your way to go towards your dreams in maybe different kind of ways or more flexible ways, or to adapt your dreams. You can sort of find the job that you've always wanted, but maybe just like you can't imagine really the way it's going to work out yet, and the way to that is just, it's become more complex in the world today. Okay, so it's really not that evident, and so this is saying that's why you need to kind of gather yourself first. It's okay, in a basic way, saying use your intuition. Okay, like the answer is inside of yourself, or it's by becoming sort of quiet and following your gut. It's saying like, okay, this is the situation, this is where I would like to go, this doesn't seem possible, I don't know what to do. Quiet your mind, or take a walk and just tell yourself, okay, what feels right, or what is nagging at me, or really question maybe your feelings deep. Let's say you're applying for a job, or maybe you just lost your job and you're looking for a new one, and you keep applying for a certain job and it doesn't feel right, you feel unhappy, or it feels uninspiring. It's time you face up to those questions and go deeper into that, and you'll find a lot of answers, and also the right way forward by that. But the second thing here, and that is cool, because it says like a return to the Stone Age, and I think it would help in this situation is to say, okay, I don't know where to go from here, or this has become, or maybe after a couple of years, or maybe like say before the Corona crisis, you were at one point, and ever since then, you've had to do many concessions or many weird turns, or you had to do many. Let's say you had to get another job in a direction you completely didn't plan for, or just to get by, and you just gotten off track. You've gotten off track really far from where you thought you had to go, or where you wanted to go, and you've maybe just not been doing what you would like to do. Like you got off track, or you get really lost. This thing, return to the basics. Take the time, go back to where you started, and take it step by step from there, or maybe just like simplify things for now. Don't overcomplicate it, don't be putting yourself in a position of having to have the answers, or follow your dreams now, or you need to really, this job has to be the one, or this next job, you have to find your purpose and have to find some place where you can make a career. No. First of all, just take some steps forward, that's all. And you're gonna end up where you're supposed to be. Doesn't matter which way forward you go. You're gonna end up where you're supposed to be. But to get back to maybe a place of better flow, or where you feel maybe again like you're not just getting by, or you're actually more in a place of stability, or like you feel like maybe in control, because this is, there's two levels to this. This is you finding your way forward to maybe build a career, or to go to a good place for yourself. But also, like, if you lose your job, if things become uncertain, you switch to survival. That's a whole other realm than you thinking about like, what is my ideal job, and what conditions should I have, what company car do I want to drive. Going from that to, how am I going to get by in the next months, or if I don't get a job, this, or I'm sitting still and I'm not doing anything and it's making me depressed. That's a different realm of thinking, and that's why I need to go back to the basics. Like, okay, where am I? what do I need? What do I need right now? And that's survival. You know, you can't skip those steps. You can't be in a survival situation and then say, I'm gonna make a vision board and I'm gonna only. You can do that. I mean, of course, do that. But there's also this part you can't ignore and saying like, I need money. I need to get by. How am I gonna fix this? What can I do? And that doesn't mean you have to do it. But you could say like, okay, I have nothing right now. I don't have a job. I'm not getting by. What can I do? Or how? What are steps to fix this? What is the most logical way? And that doesn't mean get a job as fast as you can. Any job, like go work at McDonald's or something right away. It means make a plan, you know, and start taking steps and take it from there. Because don't think too short term, you know, don't think about I need to get this fixed tomorrow, so I'm going to take whatever I can get. That's too short term. But also don't be too long term. Say like, I'm going to plan out my 5-year career and I'm going to take a year to apply to the companies that I want, and I'm going to only accept the companies that I really want, right? That's not the position we're in. But it has to be in between. You have to say like, okay, I'm going to look for jobs that I want. But in the meantime, I'm also going to apply for jobs that are possible short term. Or maybe I'm just going to also apply for jobs that are not really in my house right now, but I need a job, so I need to be a little bit more open here, you know, like something like that. Go back to basics to simplify things. And then going for a walk is really helpful. And then, you know, I'm going to give you this curse. Read a book. Pick up a book, any book in your house, flip it open on the page, read the words. That's all you need to do. We don't need to read the whole book, okay? Like, I wouldn't do that to people because that's homework, and we all know. Oh, okay, this is interesting. We all know what happens when we make something homework or a chore. Suddenly, we can do it. Let's say we love reading. And suddenly they say like, oh, you have to read this book for school. Like it's the hardest thing to do ever, you know? Or I just heard somebody say this like they make videos for fun and like all the time, but then somebody asks them to make a video as a promo or as a job. It's like, it couldn't be asked. It's like procrastination till the end of times. It's the heaviest thing to do, you know? I think a lot of people have this with creativity is not something you can really steer or demand anything from. It's a more fluid process. So when people ask that, combine that with a deadline or with production, it becomes very heavy. It's like it's hard work, you know. And it's also there where you have to become more managing and saying, this is my creative process. This is what my creative side wants. This is what I need to do business-wise, okay? It's like thinking on those two different tracks and trying to start from the basics again, you know? Like, why am I doing this? What was the point of this? Where am I trying to go? Okay, get those things clear. What is happening right now? How, did I get off track? Why did I get off track? Is it okay? And be patient with that. If you see like, okay, actually I got a bit off track and I'm not doing what I think, or I notice that what I'm doing is not what I love to do, then awareness there is all you need to start, you know, like be aware, then say, oh, I would like to change this, see how you could change this, look at it from a different side. Usually when we go at the same job then, just with a different perspective, like suddenly when we're looking at this job, like, let me go to this job and see if I really like it. Like really with a more mindful state, usually you appreciate things very differently and a lot of pressure drops. I usually have that when I go to a job or I try something and I'm already there, like, look, I'm going to try this. If I don't like it, I'm gone. I don't care. I don't want to prove myself. I don't want to be dragging my feet at a job. I don't want to be like, you know, hurting myself or having troubles, it's like drop the pressure, and then usually it's not heavy. It's not such a big deal anymore, because then when I don't know, you know, when you're late or you fuck up, or it's like, okay, you're not stressing so much about it, and you look at things from a different point of view. You really look at them, you're like, where you're at more of a well-rounded way. You're not just looking at it as an income, you're also looking at it as, is this a place that makes me happy? Is this a place where I want to be? Because those things are also important. And that's something, again, in today's world, it's not just money, it's anymore, it's time. Time is so important. Quality of life is just important, because we all know that, like, in today's economy, vertical changes in economic state are very rare. It's really very difficult to change your economic state once you get born into a certain economic class. Most people stay in the same class. Like, not everybody shoots up classes or has the American dream or gets this big break. That rarely happens, actually. Less and less, this sort of divide between rich and poor. That's why the reason it's getting bigger is because it's not so possible anymore for young people to make a career, to like start in a company and advance through the levels, or to become a doctor and really, really cash in when you're working hard and then like retire like a rich man. That's not the world we're living in anymore. Like, negotiations are about little sums of money and a little bit of bonuses there and time usually, right? So these values have changed, and we need to look at that in that way. This was a long video, but we got through it. This is the heaviest one for me. So, thank you. Group 2, I hope this helped. There's a lot of information. I'm really getting this feeling of worry, but I can also tell you, like, look, like, relax. It's normal that you're confused, or that you're just very frustrated in the fact that it's just really hard to see a way forward sometimes, you know, with the times we're living in, when if you're like in with financial problems right now, you don't see the way out, or you don't have a job, or your job is not possible during these times, and it's just, you can't get it on track again, or the damage has been too great. Breathe. It's gonna work out. It's just gonna work out, and because look, the world is experiencing this big change, but it's also adapting, and the world around you is adapting. So the world around you is also noticing that a lot of people are in this situation, and is going to change, you know. So there is a place for you, and the way forward will be clear. But if there's any lesson that Corona has for us, is that it's about patience and being alone with yourself. And so if right now you're unemployed or something, then you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing during Corona, really. You're supposed to be alone, talking to yourself, finding your internal connection, the friend inside yourself, your purpose again, because that's mostly why a lot of us are usually in this timeout, is because we really have to reevaluate everything we're doing. Where are we going? Why are we going? Like, is this? And that's the cool thing about for me for Corona, sort of, to be honest. Before that, I felt like I was on a track and a mission, and now everything's so different. I feel like anything is possible. I could go any direction, because it seems like, I don't know, I'm like not so stuck in that rigid way of thinking, or thinking there's only one way forward, because Corona has forced me to see different ways and look at different ways and actually open my eyes and get very creative in alternative routes of income and future and just try different things, you know, and suddenly, you know, I don't know what the way forward will be, but I'm dipping in a lot more different areas right now that I wouldn't before. Like if it hadn't changed and things would have been the same, there were so many things that I wouldn't have tried right now. I wouldn't be putting music on Spotify and actually making whole euros with that. Like €6, guys. €6. And so many other things that, because I was kind of, you know, had to become creative with spending time with yourself. Like, what do I like to do? What does really bring me fun? Or finally fix the environment you're in, because when you're stuck inside, you have to look at your house all the time. You suddenly see how important your environment is. You know, these things. A lot of lessons. 40 minutes. Good time for a video. Thank you, Group 2. Hope this helps. Bye. Hello, Group 3. If you chose the book on the good side, White Magic, this is your reading. I'm awkward because after Group 2, a lot has happened. The procrastination of this reading keeps on going while everything around me just changes. It's like a tornado that's destroying everything, and this reading is just lying there in the middle, waiting to be finished. So a lot has happened. I'm a completely different person. Had a lot of emotional upheaval, a lot of changes. Had a housemate move in. We had our first big fight. Now it's better. I cleaned up a lot of spring cleaning, while at the same time managing to hold on to this house, like with the payments and stuff. It's like a weekly negotiation now. So today I was cleaning the garden, like finally getting rid of all these old leaves and stuff, and at the same time thinking like maybe I should check my mails first, like, because if I'm getting evicted, this is all pointless. However, it felt amazing, like the emotional purging, and I just want to show you how happy I am with the look there, I cleaned up all that soil bed, so you can see like the little plants that I planted last year are coming through, like 1, 2, 3, and look at the back. It's like something's happening there. I don't think it's weed. And the mint of last year is coming back. I should clean the windows now, I see. But I cleaned up that corner finally. I thought there were huge spiders there. But I overcame that fear, so like with gloves. Yeah, it feels really good. Just feels amazing. Like I'm so happy looking at that. And also like the table, it's finally getting empty. Almost. Like that's from the reading. I don't know why I felt like giving you this little tour, just to also get myself started here and just to enjoy my my work again. Yeah, there's a cat, Ruby, going outside. She, because my mom visited today and she has these 2 chihuahuas, and Rumi does not really like them, that energy. So she's been asleep all day, and now she's like finally coming back down, like inspecting the place. She's gonna be all right. Yeah, she has to go to the vet next week. I'm always more nervous about that. Anyways, so that was a long intro for your reading. Keep it decent. I don't think I'm indecent. No, I'm not. So let me get set up a little bit here. This is not stalling. This is all part of the reading somehow. I know it for shizzles, sure. Okay, and I really need to get through this. Come on, Jeff. Like finish some stuff up already. I feel like I'm stalling. And it's like all getting in the way. It's like I always have this. I have a million ideas, and then I need to finish stuff, or it gets all clogged up. Like it's not that I can let go of stuff. I cannot let go of stuff or people. Problems. This fell off this week also. It's one of my favorite necklaces I made. Damn it. Okay, now they want me to also show you this. Like I really, day is an excuse maybe. But I also made this little like cool jewelry tree, like with all the jewelry I made. Like elm, I just like crafting these things. And these are like magnet jewels that I made, or like Can you see that? Wait. Yeah, playing with magnets. It's cool, yeah. It's like, I don't know, like, I just enjoy making stuff and not thinking about it. That's one point that I'm really making here now. Oh my God, I got that so clearly. So all this stuff that I'm really satisfied about and that I feel like is just that makes me feel really good after I make it, and that I'm just enjoying looking at right now, like just enjoying the results, and also I don't know, like the therapy of it all. The therapy of it all. It feels so good, and it's because like I look at those little things I made or the garden, and it's more of you see the results of your hard work or something, or you see, it's kind of like when you're cleaning house, spring cleaning, just it's therapeutic, guys. Marie Kondo the shit out of that stuff right now. Pause the video, do what I did, come back as a new person. It feels amazing. Also I need to shave my beard. Because also that feels like after a while when I need to go to the hairdresser, because it feels like I'm wearing my old skin still somehow. I need to get that fresh Jeff out again. I always look 10 years younger. I track. One red flag for me is when guys that I date, and the first or second date, they say like, and they don't ask me, right? They're not asking me, they're not telling me anything, they just bring it up like this. So when are you gonna shave that beard? Whoa, like if you've ever heard that, that's in any way, shape or form, like when are you gonna do this? Or are you always gonna do this with your looks? Or is this short hair forever or something? If a guy or a girl says that on the first, second date, red flag, bye, Felicia, just say bye, okay? Like, they should be complimenting you, they should be kissing your feet, they should be in love with every little inch of you. That's what, like, except nothing less. If somebody's already critiquing you or is like trying to get under your skin that way, or is saying like, this is how I want you to look. And I feel like some guys just want you to look like a younger person or like freshly shaved, because it makes them feel like, I don't know, more in control or something. It feels nasty. I don't know. Ugh, red flags, red flags. See, I knew we were going to get into this because we chose the book on the white magic, and I already had this feeling before, also with sort of the information that is circling around me. I'm trying not to say a couple of words because I don't believe in them and I want to make a video about it, e.g. why narcissism doesn't exist or why it shouldn't exist in your vocabulary. Like empaths and narcissists are things that are a theory. It's like saying somebody is evil or somebody is good. We all know that it is a black and white thinking that does not make sense. Plus, you can never argue or never tell somebody or never say about somebody, he's just evil. It's just pure evil. We can say that, like we can think that, and like, but that's not a valid argument. We all know that nothing is that black and white, and everything is nuanced, and everybody has a story, right? Narcissism is the same thing. It's just saying somebody's evil. It works if that fits in your. If somebody is damaging you, if somebody is hurting you, then for your argument, for your reality, they're evil. To you, they are evil. They should be treated as thus, right? And there's a reason, guys, why people who have gone through traumas or this kind of abuse and this whole narcissism stuff, when they want to share this story with the world, they realize that they can't. When you come out of this stuff, you realize that this story is so crazy, so absurd, that you can't really explain it to anybody who hasn't gone through it. It would take you months, and even then, they couldn't really grasp how fucked up things can be and how, how weird the world can get, how magical the world can get. We here get that. That's why probably you found this wizard, because you understand that through reality somehow works, or this, I don't know, the cold sober world that most people, you know, like agree on, that works until it doesn't anymore. You're playing the game until you realize the game is rigged or you can't win. And also when you grow up with trauma, you see this mirrored so much in the outside world, you realize you're living in a psychosis a lot more than most people. Most people do not realize that, because I worked as a doctor and I had to treat people who became psychotic or manic. Manic is different. Let's not look at that. It's more psychosis where not these hyper attacks where people just go paranoid and it's like, oh my god, there are 4 people, like just this hype, because that's just fear. That's just their fear kind of taking over and making this story, because that's the only way somehow it's going to be noticed. You know, you split. But I'm talking about the psychosis where the reality just slowly shifts and we're all living in somehow. We copy paste so many times everything, and we think like this is such a long story. The point is, reality is an individual thing, and it can change. Everything can change. And if you right now are struggling with any kind of sort of narcissistic people, energy vampires, there's a reason vampires, the story was invented. That's narcissism. That's people in the past trying to explain narcissism to people who do not understand it, okay? So they make fairy tales. Fairy tales are full of this. The Little Mermaid. Now I'm blocking on all the other examples. I wrote a list somewhere of all the movies and fairy tales where Entangled, one of those new ones, that's one where gaslighting is like super obvious. With the evil mom, you know, with the girl in the tower. The Never-Ending Story, all these old fantasy movies are basically about people trying, who have had to escape from this and had to raise themselves or guard that essence of themselves, and who are trying to explain that to the world but can't, you know? So there's a reason that people resort to all this fantasy and all these other ways of sharing the story than using the word narcissist, because it doesn't work. If you're not in that world, if you don't know it, you are blind to it or you're immune to it, you know? Because like healthy, that's the difficult reality that people who are going through this have to accept. When you're dealing with narcissists, you yourself have a problem. Because people who are very healthy and love themselves and are good, like have good priorities in this way, they don't even exist in the same realm. They don't, when they meet toxic people, it doesn't compute. They don't even read it. And I know that because I know how the world didn't see me or couldn't compute with me, you know, because I had the same problem, you know. Call it narcissism or not, it's coping. It's all coping. Same for empaths. Empaths is not really a thing. But it's always both, right? So let's say, are you here on this world maybe to help other people? Maybe. Probably you had a hard past, but you should really also be able to accept the truth that when you're an empath, maybe you're just somebody who was forced in their childhood to use these skills to cope with a very, very difficult reality, and later on life get stuck in being a pleaser helper, somebody who is so automatic or so forced to see and read the energies and help people to help themselves. You know, it's a trap. It's a trap. I did it, I fell into it, I'm trying to get out of it. It's hard because at the same time, you know, I could say like after maybe 30 years, like, oh, all this helping people and me wanting to be a doctor and a healer is just me trying to help me and figure out the world. And, you know, wait, this week. you know, like it's not really me, because if the damage wasn't there, I would not be in this, doing this at all. You know, this is still just a result, or something I'm telling myself to make sense of things. But at the same time, if most of my life I've gone through this and I've dealt with this and I've had to learn these lessons and I've had to and I've been helping people, it becomes part of you. You know, it's like it is what you've been doing. It is who you are. It is where you've been going. It is where you find value and skill and maybe connection to the world. You know, it's after a while something, even though it may be a result of something bad and maybe it was an adaptation, you can still choose to let that be a part of you. You know, like to say like, but I like helping people and that's still what I want to do, and that's fine. But first you need to realize that if you're an empath, most likely it's more like you are forced to cope with the very difficult circumstances. And I'm sorry to tell you, on the other side of that spectrum is narcissism. So these people also were forced to cope with very difficult circumstances and had different set of skills, or their environment didn't allow for empathic behavior. Because you probably then, if you're an empath, you probably then grew up in an environment that asked you to be sort of this healing type, that asked you to be super empathic and help people. Sort of maybe you had to help your mom emotionally a lot, be a support beacon, or maybe you had to fill in your own emotional self-care, or maybe you had to really, this was asked of you. The environment rewarded you for the behaviors they needed most. But if you grew up in an environment where being empathic gave you whoop ass or a lot of anger, because that's how some parents are. If you try to help them, if you try to mess with their business, if you try to say like, oh, I'm here for you, dad or mom, they say like, don't you disrespect me like this, get away from me, or they get angry at you, or they project it. So then you learn that being emotional and empathic is no. And then you also learn that people are not in control of their emotions, and that is not a place that I want to have anything to do with, right? Because that is dangerous. So you learn to shield yourself in. You become a narcissist, and these people they have other set of skills that then are over embellished or are strong. But like both struggles are there, and it's never not a black and white spectrum. So if you're on the white side, magic, if you're a good Jedi, then congratulations, but you're no angel. I'm sorry to tell you. Like the evil people are not devils, and you're not the angel. We're all struggling and colliding and lost in translation. We're incredibly lost in translation, right? And another thing I want to add before I do read is what you have to realize is, if you're like in this empath spectrum, you've learned that love comes with hurt, or comes with neglect, or comes with people who do bad things to you. And when you grow up, it's like almost in the other. It's like you can't do it the other way around. When love comes, or when you love, it's there. The part where other people, when they hurt you, you read it as love, because that's how you adapted. That's what you probably did in your childhood. You said like, oh, these people do love me. They're trying, but they love me. This is love. What they're doing is love. When I am around people who treat me like shit, like my parents did, or in that bad way, or avoid their responsibilities, or abandon me emotionally, physically, anyway, then it's almost like you find those people again who do the same thing to you, and when they're doing this bad thing to you that hurts, it's like you're home. You want the hurt, you want the damage, I love you because it hurts. Song I'm working on, my lyrics, copyright. So, quickly. This was our, this is your card, and it makes super much sense. Gold and silver violet flame dragon, fancy. The butterfly is important here. the Transmutation Circle. If you haven't watched Full Metal Alchemist, I suggest you give that a try. Transmutes the old around you with wisdom and grace. Didn't I just talk about like cleaning my garden and whoa. God damn. I mean, subconsciously I probably knew that this said like I put the card there, but most of me forgot that. I'm amazed by myself. Okay, so I wanted to flip through, but like it fell open on this, and this 5 and the intro, it made me stop. So let's just read. I'm gonna translate from Dutch to English, so give me, be patient with me. So, normally spoken, there's a distinction between white magic, or good magic, and black magic, evil magic. Even if the border between is very vague. White magic is of God and is used by people who don't know selfishness or who aren't selfish, who aren't okay. White magic is of God and is used by people who aren't driven by selfishness, who aren't driven by power and money, and not by, like their own esteem. It's applied, and this is important, white magic is applied to lift and cure the consequences of black magic. White magic is used by speaking of prayers and enchantments, by summoning or invoking divine powers or entities, like angels or your spirit guides or ancestors. Oh, ancestors, angels, spirit guides, please help me. Spirit animals, gather. Black magic, on the contrary, is used to hurt others or to kill. Whoa, that went dark. White magic is the magic of doing. Oh, this is interesting. White magic is the magic of doing, the magic that Morgana tried to take from Merlin to mislead King Arthur, to waken the dragon and to seize power. Whoa, so Morgana tried to take that magic from Merlin to do bad things, and it's called the magic of doing because good and positive thoughts are turned into action, in contrast to black magic where bad and negative thoughts manifest in lies and illusions and no action, silence. Think about this. That's why it can be said that white magic has concrete and long-lasting effects that benefit others you can build on, because it's the magic of doing, so you're building. Instead of black magic is trying to stop, tear down, destroy, lie, manipulate, illusions. What was the last sentence here? You so help to help others, while black magic only wants to make a moment of illusion and confusion. Whoa. Yes, so black magic is only out to create moments of confusion and illusion this is a weird sentence, to give the person that you're saying it to bad results, big and bad results. Oh yeah, you're trying to like put a stick in the wheel with somebody else. Okay, that's black magic, where you're trying to sabotage somebody else, or you're trying. It can be even something. Oh, wow. So my mom was telling me today, she was giving me the story about this case in America where these 2 young children were texting a lot, and they both had like some mental issues, and this one guy was very depressed and suicidal, and at one night there was this huge like talk, and there was this moment where he said, I'm getting out of the car, I'm not going through with killing myself, and where she sort of said like, just do it already or something, and he killed himself. And first I was very defensive of this girl because I was like, look, she can't be held accountable. She's like too young. She has her own mental issues. If that boy was suffering from depression and suicidal thoughts and was already on that point a couple of times, almost doing it, then you can't blame the person that is right there at the final end that maybe doesn't do anything when somebody has threatened to kill themselves a couple of times over. It's very difficult to like blame anybody there. And also I feel like it's weird to look at that final moment and not take accountability for what has happened the years before that. Because it's not that because that boy killed himself, but everybody's acting like the years before that, then we're good. If that boy was in terrible pain, suffering, like wanting to be out of this life over and over and over again, then there's a huge problem there that was already there. So you could argue that now nobody is taking accountability for the damage that was there already. This boy was suffering and dying, and there must have been a cause there, a cause and effect. So there must have been a surroundings that made this boy very unhappy, and now somehow the surroundings manages to blame this girl. Oh my god, okay, I just went full circle. So I'm still on the side of this girl, because what happened is, this is black magic. They created a moment of illusion and confusion. So they created this trial, and they made this entire trial where they accused this little girl of this one act, and where they put this judge like in the corner of having to say, did this girl act in that moment correct or not? And then no, because like that's against the law to not help another person when they're in time of need, okay? But somehow this family now created this huge distraction and like put it all on that little girl, on this responsibility, and nobody's taking accountability for what happened, the unhappiness that was there before, the suffering that was there before, and the fact that this boy was probably going to kill himself sooner or later because it was actually happening over and over again. And you can't blame any person to maybe in that moment, in that split second, maybe that girl saw the truth and she saw like, you are suffering so much, I wish you could just be at peace. I see your pain so much, you are just bleeding. I wish you could just be at peace, like out of your misery. And maybe she dissociated even in that moment. We don't know, but it's insane how all these responsibilities get put on that moment. And this is what happened. That family created black magic here, a moment of illusion and confusion. They just pointed the right finger at the right time and created a huge distraction. This girl had to go to jail. This young person that was already suffering mentally had to go to jail. Fuck, it makes no sense, because I worked in psychiatry, like if one of my patients tried to kill himself again and another patient was standing next to it and they didn't stop him and maybe even pushed him, I wouldn't even, of course we would take these things seriously, but I wouldn't be blaming that other patient for this guy jumping and him not that's my job. I should be the one to blame, I should be the doctor that is not. See, this is a real accountability. This is where if one of my patients jumps or kills themselves, I won't be looking at the person that was standing next to that person and saying, you're the one at fault. I would take accountability. I was the doctor treating that patient. Maybe I should have seen this coming. I know that how unhappy this person was. This is all of our fault, This is the entire when somebody kills themselves, not one single person is at fault. The entire community, the entire people around are at fault, and everybody should be ashamed. But maybe when it comes this far, we all need to also learn to accept the possibility that maybe somebody was suffering so much that the best thing for them was to get out of this life. Okay? And get out of this reality wherever they may go. I hope they catch a break. Because if you're that much pain, like if you see an animal bleeding on the street, you would put it out of its misery. Because you know that it's cruel to watch somebody crawl until they really can't no more, and if you're not gonna help, right? That was terrible, and I still think that is completely messed up. So, also, and that judge, I'm sorry, but I'm sort of ashamed of you, because I understand that as a judge, and the judge actually did the same thing. He just, instead of saying his proper judgment, using everything he knows and seeing is the law applied in the right way here. And he should have said no, because we are trying to blame a circumstance on the girl that was already pre-existing, okay? You're saying that the girl was guilty of something that was already happening. You can't blame somebody for not stopping a car crash when it happens right in front of you. And that judge should have seen that, and it should have said like, hold on, this is kind of used completely out of context and out of unhinged. And we're putting blame and all this time and money and energy into punishing a person, and it's not gonna help anybody. It's not gonna do any good for anybody. Right? Damn it, I'm upset about this. It's completely bonkers, really, that judge, really. And then to hide behind, okay, well, this is the law, so I guess I have to send you to jail, I'm sorry. Like, fuck you, judge, you should probably retire and take a break, because what are you doing with your life? Not much good. If that's your ruling, then your job could be done by a robot, goodbye, judge. Mic drop. And that was your reading, guys. So, that was quite a journey. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you around. Not all my readings are this emotional, over the top, misleading you in tours and guides. And wow, this was a lot. Sorry, I'm a mess of a person, but not usually this messy. I try to put on a good front. Goodbye, guys. Good luck with white magic. And give yourself a break, you know, if you're doing this fight. You're a fighter. You've been fighting. Keep it up. And know that, and try to focus on in this way of like really when you're doing your magic, focus on yourself, always. Focus on positive thoughts, really. Always, even how now, I can't, no matter how hurt you are, no matter how angry you are, when you're manifesting, focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. This is so difficult, but in our moments of pain, in our great moments of pain, it's so important that we look at what is causing it, or it won't stop sending out this beacon, right? We have to look at it, accept it, and then look towards the future, and not let that taint your future, you know? Accept what is, but this is where you take power, you know, where you're accepting what is and you're seeing this is the mess, this problem is like sending out this huge, beacon, this problem. This is where you take the power, where you say, this is what's going on, and that's okay, but I have the power to focus on something else, to focus on where I want to go, how I would like it to feel. I can choose that. You can not control or change what is, but you can definitely try to get in control of how you react, not how you're feeling about it, you know? Let your emotions run rampant. You can't stop that. If somebody upsets you, it's gonna happen. But you can choose to not let that emotion then determine your next action. You can get in front of that and you can say like, hold up, stop. And be smarter and get smarter and get better at that. That's where your power lies. That's all you can do. Don't focus on other people, focus on yourself. Focus on what you want. Allow yourself to be jealous. That's what I just got. Bye, group 3. It was way too long. See you in another reading, hopefully. Less shorter, more concrete. Less messy. Bye. Hello, group 4. How are you? So, a lot happened. There are other readings. So, if you want to catch up, go to group 3. See if you're into that mess or not. But we're here for a light reading with Mama Ru here. You chose Rupaul, then good choice. You're about to feel really good. I matched it with this dragon card. It made sense to me because it says, brings soul families and communities together, spreads belonging, warmth, and oneness, brings people everywhere together. That's not the best card for Rupaul. I don't know what it is. So let's see what our mama has to say. This sounds so weird when I say it like mother. Ooh, my accent there. Mother. Let's just call her Rupaul. See what Rupaul has to say. Ooh, I felt like that was it. Okay. I'm gonna do both pages. You know, like get the most out of it. So, first thing it says here. Ooh, from the Odyssey. Whoa. You know how I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins? And it's about the Odyssey, sort of like, you know, the retelling of that kind of, or this guy. The Odyssey is important. It's called Odyssey, right? Damn it. It's called Odyssey. Like then they did a Greek guy, all that stuff. Like it was very weird. And I never finished the game, so I may have not understood the lesson there quite completely. Oh well. So the quote is, anybody who can step out of the house with a pair of high heels and some lipstick on, their lips is my hero. Whoa. Yeah. So anybody who can step out of the house with a pair of high heels and some lipstick on, their lips is my hero. With a pair of high heels and some lipstick on their lips is my hero. Okay, sorry, it was a hard sentence to say. Forget that. Anybody who can step out of the house with a pair of high heels and some lipstick on their lips is my hero. Saying, guys, give yourself a freaking break. If you're, you know, you can be hard on yourself and judge yourself in all the ways you want, but if you're getting through the day, if you're alive, if you're getting through the day, you know, waking up, if you're managing to feed yourself, if you're getting out of the door, and if you're trying, high five. Like, it's a lot. Like, and I hope you don't know how even difficult basic stuff can be, you know. Give yourself a break and you're our hero, you know, just getting through things. And okay, I felt that one. Guys, doesn't matter how difficult you are making it, how difficult it is for you, how fucked up you're making it, how much of a mess you're making of it, how unimportant it is what you do. Guys, like, you're doing the best you can, right? You're doing the best you can. That's enough, okay? Like, don't judge yourself any harder, and know that you're doing the best you can. And you're not doing yourself any favor by criticizing that or criticizing yourself. You're trying to get yourself to a better place. That's why you're criticizing yourself. But to get to a better place, and this is the deal you have to make with yourself right now, is you say like, look, I'm doing the best I can, and all of us want to make it better. Please just help me trust myself and get behind myself, you know, instead of criticizing myself, just say, okay, like, stop criticizing yourself, start complimenting yourself, start patting yourself on the back, start saying, come on, good job. For every little thing, even no matter how unimportant it is, if it was difficult for you and you just did it, good job. That's all that matters. Because for you it was difficult, okay? It doesn't matter what anybody else has to say or thinks. For you it was difficult, and you need to support that reality, because nobody else will, and you need to back yourself up. You need to back yourself up, okay? And that's how you get forward, by backing yourself up, by supporting what you're doing, by trusting what you're doing by trusting that you're doing the best and that you're trying to make it work and that you're trying to do good. By learning that, you know? That's how you get ahead, not by criticizing yourself, putting yourself down, comparing yourself to others, tearing things apart. It doesn't help, and it's difficult to stop doing that, to stop worrying, to stop looking at a problem, or stop looking for a problem, or you know, or it's difficult, but damn it, make that deal now. Say, please back me up here. Just ask yourself, please, like, stop criticizing me on things. I know. I don't need always this voice to remind me, okay? Sometimes, and this is where this critique, this inner critique, it becomes healthy when it comes up. When it comes up, you take it very seriously. It's like when that critique comes along and says like, you say like, oh, then there's a good reason, so I need to look at that, you know? Because my inner critic is saying something, and it's critical about something for a reason, okay? Because you're all aligned and everything is backing you up, and if everything is backing you up the way it should be, right? You're in one you're whole one and you're all moving in the same direction, right? And if suddenly a little piece of you latches off, this is like, oh, hold up, and it stays behind, you need to look at that. Is it like, what happened here? Need to fix this little situation, right? And then we can move on again. But the deal is, we all move in the same direction. And if you're in a chronic state of, I'm moving this direction and a part of me is just always holding back, you know, like a dog that doesn't want to go for the walk. If that's the chronic situation, you need to then recognize that that's not helping. Just recognize that it's like, pick up the dog or something, you know, like get creative, but criticizing won't help you. So that quote one more time. Anybody could step out of the house with a pair of high heels and some lipstick on their lips is my hero. See, I'm learning to say it faster. So in the second quote, from the Washington Post, on the 24th of August, 2016. I don't know why that's relevant. I just said it on drag page 35. There. All the things I've said. The quote starts now. Throughout the history of the gay rights movement, drag queens have always been at the forefront. We threw the first brick at Stonewall. I mean, I'm saying that like I'm the drag queen that's doing that. I'm not. I want to say I kind of wish I was that brave in a way, but I don't think I have to judge it or myself that harshly, because you know what Rupaul taught me, the blessing of Rupaul was, it sank in really slowly but really strongly, that message of we're all born naked and the rest is drag. Sort of like, you know, people put you in a box anyway. People, you're wearing a mask anyways, right? You're wearing a body. You might as well start playing the game. You know, it's like see the game, play the game, instead of being forced to be something that you don't want to be, or like seen as something you don't want to be. You might as well just get behind that and say, this is kind of what I would like to be and how I would like to be seen, and have fun with that. Choose your mask, choose your drag, choose who you would like to be, you know? And that was a really freeing moment for me, because, you know, I can't judge if this was still a reaction or not, but I somehow found a lot of peace in the opposite. Instead of becoming a drag queen, you know, like, it was the opposite. It was like, I'm allowed to be macho man, like, beard. I wear hats. I started wearing hats. Ever since that, I'm a natural hat person. I could not imagine my life different. But before that, I was like, I don't think I'm a hat person. It doesn't work for me. And at one moment, I just realized the difference between me and a hat person is they're just wearing them. They're not asking people, am I a hat person? They're telling them, I'm a hat person. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, choose the mask you want, like yourself, and have fun with it. Choose your drag. Don't let other people define that. Choose how you want to be seen. And I feel I get so inspired by seeing some of these, let's say, over the top, like over machismo, like brick guys, like muscles over the top, all tattooed, like with the super masculine car, like over the topness, this over the top image just somehow inspired me, because they're doing the same. They're doing the same as drag queens. They're just having fun with who they want to be, and most of all, they're in control of that. They're saying, this is what I want you to see, this is who I want to be. Somehow, you know, there's a lot of fun with that, and I think that's where we all want to be. So I guess you have to sort of decide for yourself is, where am I judging myself still for, because that's how I was before. Like I would try to, like, I would always subdue myself, say like I don't try to be too much or too ooh la la or too this or too bold or anything like that, out of, I don't know, politeness. I don't know what it is. But I judged it because when I did it, I sort of pulled myself back and said like don't think you're all that, or don't think who are you trying to be, or it's, you kind of judge the mask instead of just having fun with it, because clearly you want it, right? I hope this helped somebody. Good. This reading is a mess. Yes, but I'm here and I'm me and I want that. That's from Katja, one of my favorite drag queens. Also Trixie, I love them. They got me through a lot and they still make me laugh every time. It's like my best. I mean, it's hard to get into, right? Because the first times I saw, like, I could only pay attention to one of them. So much going on. But ever since then, it's like, it's a lifesaver. Good. Bye. Queens. Sachet away. All right, group Tinko 5. I'm keeping this going because I need to get through this mess of a reading. It's such a... I don't even want to know, like, what the end result will be. I just have to get through it, okay? Like, I have to get through it, and I'm saying that because the group 5 is a bit of an emotional one for me, because the book that I chose, look, this was the card, this was your dragon card. I'll show it to you. Orange Gold Dragon from Arcturus. Opens, it was very American. Try to say it British now. The Orange Gold Dragon from Arcturus. Arcturus. I'm trying to channel my Hermione. You mustn't do that, Harry Potter. Wingardium Leviosa. Leviosa. Arcturus. Opens you to knowledge from the new golden age. No, sorry, that was weird. Opens you to knowledge for the new golden age. Carry the energy of the future, be a guiding light. But anyways, look at the picture. And I thought that matched a little bit too well the book that I had. Now, I dragged this book along with it, and I don't, now that I think about it, why? I need to ask myself. Oh my God. No, I didn't. So this book is called Start With Why. And I really feel a bit stupid now. And I just think, so maybe the book is here for a reason. Look, the story here is, so this guy I dated, tried to date, whatever. He left this book here, and I just, because we were so extremes, and I just thought it was beautiful, these books together, how it just explained our difference, I guess. This, like The Little Prince, I read a chapter from this, from Witte Fox, about this book. And then this very, very logical book called Start With Why. Now, the weird thing is they seem extremely contradictory. Like this is a very like for business people or for intellectuals somehow, like I don't know, go-getters. This is a sort of fantasy children's novel that is trying to tell you how to explain to you how to keep a child alive or something. How your imagination, how to keep that alive. They seem very contradictory, right? But now that I sort of think about it, it's weird because like the whole book is about this little boy asking why all the time. He goes to these grown-ups and to these people and he's just like, why? Why? And in these simple questions, he unravels so much. Oh, okay. So that's the message here is ask why. And this tip is like, this is sort of the basic of therapy, really, of any of the Socratic dialogue, of my journaling, of self-talk, talking to yourself out loud, talking to a friend. It's most problems or most things can be solved or more like unraveled or like you can help yourself a great deal by asking why in fundamental ways, okay? Like starting again. Okay, I'm just gonna say this example because it came up, like e.g., let's say like, like struggling to pay the house here, blah, 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 blah. You can be so focused on the fixing of that, that's what I'm like at, and I'm losing a lot of energy in that you can get very sidetracked, and and that's what I've been trying to do, is get to the very fundamentals. Is like ask why. It's like why why am I doing this, or why am I in this situation? That was a important question. Or why do I want this? Just asking, resetting. Like, what am I doing here? Like, I'm doing this battle here. And where it helped me, it was most of all like to help me zoom out again. It's like, okay, like this is a problem, but I can't. I'm doing what I can, and maybe I can't solve it, but I can let that go now and focus on the things where I want to focus on, and the things that make me happy and fun, and doing my own projects, whatever. That's again where you have the power, sort of like, and that's how I mindfulness myself to learning how to sleep when I had insomnia. When I was rattling in my brain, couldn't sleep over and over again, like worries, I would start having this talk with myself. It's like, okay, I'm lying in bed and I can't sleep. Why? Because I'm thinking super fast and I feel super anxious. Why? Because this and this and this happened today, or I'm worried about these and these and these things, and I'm very concerned. Okay, that's a very good reason to be worried. Why am I worrying about it right now when I'm trying to rest? Because I'm so anxious and I really want to figure a solution out before I wake up again in the morning, because it feels terrible right now to me. Okay. And then like go into that, like, is this helping me really? Then you can, because you can find this sort of place of peace with yourself where you can let that part of you that is so anxious at that time, because that's important. When you can't sleep and you're so anxious, you need to it's like there's a little child and it's so worried, and you need to hold it. You just need to say, it's okay, it's okay. I hear you, I see you. You have good reason to be scared, and I'm here. It's okay. We're gonna try again tomorrow, Right now, we need to sleep, and like we can help the best by sleeping, and we deserve to sleep, and it's okay, it's safe. Right now, at this moment, it's safe. So don't worry. If you're worrying about tomorrow, you're pissing on today or something, that's an expression. I'm still from the drag queens. So let's opens you to knowledge for the new golden age, so that makes sense. Be an energy of the future, be a guiding light. So I'm going to start with our little Prince book here, and my page just fell open on this poem he wrote me. I'd leave it in because whatever. But it fell open because it's like it has the page in it. So like I'm like, I don't want to go into it anymore. Like I've already decided beforehand. I already read it beforehand, for myself. I read the poem again. I read the chapter again. I did all that homework, but I'm just over it. So page 47. Better. Stupid place. Finally over with. I don't want. Should I keep this book? Tell me in the comments. Like, should I keep this book? Because in one hand, it feels like it's symbolic for the lesson I learned somehow, and I like almost this. It's by allowing this sort of in my world that I feel like I don't have to worry about anything. Okay, my cat just made a weird sound. I don't know. I hope she's fine. Just heard cats fight. Tis the season. Spring is upon us. Frolicking. Let's say that was divine intervention about my boring question. Just let me know. Should I keep it? Or how would you decide this? Because Mary Kondo would say, does it spark joy? Yes or no? And then my voice is no. It doesn't spark joy. It reminds me of somebody who didn't understand me, or who, it kind of feels disrespectful because fuck you, I've been asking why a great deal and I've been doing nothing but this. So to put this in my face, it's like actually kind of feels insulting. So I've never read it. Feels boring and feels like full of these open doors. Okay, but we need to read a page from it, so let's do it. Maybe we'll change our mind. Because I put it open on this, 14, the new competition. If you follow your why, then others will follow you. Bang! The gun fires and the race is on. The runners take off across the field. It rained the day before and the ground is still damp. The temperature is cool. It is the perfect day for running. The line of runners quickly forms a pack. Like a school of fish, they come together as one. They move as one. The pack sets a pace to maximize their energy for the whole race. As with any race, in a short period of time, the stronger ones will start to pull ahead and the weaker ones will start to fall behind. But not Ben Common. Ben was left behind as soon as the starter gun sounded. Ben's not the fastest runner on the team, in fact he's the slowest. He has never won a single race the entire time he's been on the Hannah High School cross-country track team. Ben, you see, has cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy, a condition often caused by complications at birth, affects someone's movement and balance. Physical problems endure for a lifetime. Mishaps, spines creates a twisted posture, muscles are often withered, and motor reflexes slow. Tightness in the muscles and joints also affect balance. Those with CP often have an unsteady gait, their knees knock and their feet drag. To an outsider they may seem clumsy or even broken. Okay, freshening up my medical. Oh, and the page was open here. Like it was a little corner. Interesting. The pack pulls farther and farther ahead while Ben falls farther and farther behind. He slips on the wet grass and falls forward into the soft earth. He slowly picks himself up. Sorry, I'm just like mentally was in a completely different space. Back there. He slips on the wet grass and falls forward into the soft earth. He slowly picks himself up and keeps going. Down he goes again. This time it hurts. He gets back up and he keeps running. Ben won't quit. The pack is now out of sight and Ben is running alone. It is quiet. He can hear his own labored breathing. He feels lonely. He trips over his own feet again and down he goes yet another time. No matter his mental strength, there is no hiding the pain and frustration on his face. He grimaces as he uses all his energy to pull himself back to his feet to continue running. For Ben, this is part of the routine. Everyone else finishes the race in about 25 minutes. It usually takes Ben more than 45 minutes. When Ben eventually crosses the finish line, he is in pain and he is exhausted. It took every ounce of strength he had to make it. His body is bruised and bloodied. He is covered in mud. Ben inspires us indeed. But this is not a story of when the going gets tough, the tough get going. This is not a story of when you fall down, pick yourself up. Those are great lessons to learn, without a doubt, but we don't need Ben Common to teach us those lessons. There are dozens of others we can look to for that, like an Olympic athlete, for example, who suffered an injury just months before the games only to come back to win a medal. Ben's lesson is deeper. Something amazing happens after about 25 minutes. When everybody else is done with their race, everybody comes back to run with Ben. Ben is the only runner who, when he falls, someone else will help pick him up. Ben is the only runner who, even when he finishes, has 100 people running behind him. What Ben teaches us is special. When you compete against everyone else, no one wants to help you. But when you compete against yourself, everybody wants to help you. Olympic athletes don't help each other. They're competitors. Ben starts every race with a very clear sense of why he's running. He's not there to beat anyone but himself. Ben never loses sight of that. His sense of why he's running gives him the strength to keep going, to keep pushing. to keep getting up, to keep going, and to do it again and again and again. And every day he runs, the only time Ben sets out to beat is his own. Woo. Let's leave it at that. The last sentence, and that's pretty inspiring. Well, yeah. When you compete against everyone else, no one wants to help you. But when you compete against yourself, everyone wants to help you. Really weird, because I feel like he did not help me following my why or trying to compete against myself. I feel like he more abandoned me and didn't pick up any of the pieces or help. I feel like he more tore me down actually, or more tried to break me down, or tried to get me down a peg, or to somehow, I don't know where that all went wrong. See, that's what the problem with I can decide when this person is if he's unaware or aware of these things, that he's like reading this, underlining these sentences. Well, this is a lot for me. Damn it! I wanted to I thought when I started this reading, maybe this will surprise me and be super light and something else. Nope, we went straight into it. So what was the prince? Okay, so it keeps falling back on the page with the note. I'm not gonna read that. 77. That's right, said the fox. To me, you're still just a little boy like 100,000 other little boys, and I have no need of you, and you have no need of me either. To you, I'm just a fox like 100,000 other foxes. But if you tame me, we shall need one another. To me, you will be unique, and I shall be unique to you. I'm beginning to understand, said the little prince. There is a flower, I think she has tamed me. Possibly, said the fox. One sees all sorts of things on earth. Oh, but this is not on earth, said the little prince. The fox seems puzzled. On another planet? Yes. Are there hunters on that planet? No. That's interesting. And any chickens? No. Nowhere is perfect, sighed the fox. I beg of you, tame me. Come on, I don't want to read this. We all know where this ends. And I'm saying the last sentence because a nice person that I met on Instagram just posted this with this caption. So, full circle again. I'm responsible for my rose, the little prince repeated, so as to be sure to remember. I'm too in the thick of this to make sense of this, so I'm just gonna leave it there, guys. I hope this inspired you or helped you. I think this was pretty inspirational to me, actually. I'm keeping the book, I decided. Because some ugly parts are kind of beautiful when you get a little further away from it. Yeah. Wish you well, guys. Have a nice evening. Bye. Hello, group 6. I'm doing this. I'm finishing it. My housemate just started cooking, so I thought I'd just go ahead and let's get into this cookbook. How hard can it be? This can't be a deep reading, right? This can't be as emotionally unstable as the previous ones. Have a mess. It can be, right? Please tell me. And then it said it won't. Yes, books, talk to me. So I've matched this up with this card, the Fire Dragon. Burns up the lower energies around you. You are safe and protected, guys. Be determined and inspired. Clear your soul pathways. Burns up the lower energies around you, Fire Dragon. It's just like, oh, you need fire for cooking, right? So let's cook some stuff up. Cooking, the new cookbook. I feel like there were a lot of deep analogies there already. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with this camera already. So, there. That's fine. So let's flip open this book. See what page we land on. See, I landed on a page and then I decided it wasn't good enough because I want to be on camera and make the effect, you know. Because otherwise it seems too rehearsed or something. So let's officially do it. Here. Oh no, it's in Dutch. I have to translate it. How do you say that in English? Like pork chops. Let's say pork chops with paprikas, kidneys with paprikas. Ew. Salt the meat and bacon in brown butter or I should say the blanchet. The kidneys, whatever, cut them, bake them brown. Grease your oven dish with garlic and butter it. Take the meat out of the pan, put it in the dish, in the just buttered dish. Take your chopped and finely chopped onions. Fruit them in the butter. I never heard that. Put them in the butter. Fruit them in the butter. So maybe like squash them in or something, or mix them. Take the washed paprikas. Take out the seeds, of course. Who wouldn't do that? Put it in trenches. Take this. And with the salt, with the skinned tomatoes and the tomato ketchup, bring the water. With the water to the onions, put the mixture on 5 minutes, and the meat of the kidney. Put it in a hot oven at 22 degrees and cook it for 20 minutes. Take the thing out of the oven, the dish out of the oven, put freshly cut parsley on top. I don't want to read the rest of it, it's so stupid. I have no idea why I'm doing this. Are you having kidney problems? Plus it sounds not yummy at all. I think, I don't know, I wouldn't eat that meat, or that kind of meat. The rest is so basic, it's so stupid. I think what I'm trying to say is cooking is not that hard, guys. It's really basic. Put some stuff, chop it up, put it in the oven, and usually most stuff is good. I don't know why we're here. I want this to be over. Why can't I say more? There's a lobster. The lemon. That's the first thing I saw. A lemon. Where's the lemon? Let's get to the real stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you weren't expecting something super serious. Because the previous groups, like, go choose one of those. Those were like killer. These are potatoes. Maybe that's what I saw. That's like a meme, right? Like a random potato or something? I don't know. Those are in a jacket. Yeah, I've seen all these things put in ovens and really, again, the same thing that I'm thinking, it's all very easy. You know, it's like, take the vegetables, you wash them, put them in the oven. Cooking is not that hard. And I know that I'm telling this to myself, I need to cook more, Jesus Christ. I'm like a delivery expert, as they say. Which should be fine. I don't like cooking. I got so angry yesterday again. I was cooking yesterday. I was basically cooking up some potatoes, making a sausage, like just warm, like baking it. Took like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. God, I can't handle it. Like that waiting. I already ate all my salad and all the other garnishes by the time the meat and the potatoes are finished. And by the time that it's like done, I'm so frustrated with the whole waiting that I'm angry at the food for making me wait. It's like, I don't want this anymore. And then I usually end up burning stuff anyway. So it's really not for me. It's like, I can't be patient for it. I used to bake a lot of cakes. Here's another oven dish for your inspiration. This is nice meat though, I like this meat. Who, like, what a weird picture with the wine and the coffee. When it's the coffee, no, it's not coffee. That's so weird. I'm sorry. It's so long since I've seen real food. Guys, we need to eat more healthy. I think I have diabetes, I'm not sure. Oh, it's parsley again. Parsley. Okay, guys, that's one good tip I can give you. Parsley. Eat parsley, and I think more means to grow it. I think, look up magical properties of parsley. Parsley. Parsley, parsley, parsley. Peterselie. Peter? Peter? Hello? Paprika. Oh, paprika came again. And curry. We've been talking about curry all day. So curry, paprika, and parsley. Look up that stuff. Put it in your dishes. It probably will benefit you more than one way. And look up the properties, the magical properties. Buy some parsley plants. I'm gonna do that. I like planting stuff. That's where I have patience. That's where I like doing planting. And ordering stuff. I'm hungry now, guys. I know I'm not gonna cook. I'm gonna order stuff. Yay. Oh no, we still have food. We cook. Shit, I can't order tonight. Okay. Hope this helped. Parsley. Bye.